How's it going, guys? It's Najam. Welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to review the Thinkplus TH30 headphones. Now these are really cheap Bluetooth headphones that you can get for the smartphone or if you're on a tight budget. And as always, affiliate links will be in the description. So let's go ahead and talk about the specifications. These have Bluetooth 5.3. They are foldable as well. And they have two 10 milliwatt 40mm drivers. The signal to noise ratio is 95 decibels and the frequency response is 20 to 20 kilohertz. Now you can use these wired as well as wireless, and they do come with the cable for that. These are 32 ohms and they have a sensitivity of 110 decibels. Now let's talk about the battery life. These have a 250 milliamp hour battery inside them. They take around 2 hours to charge, and the battery life from my experience lasts about 10 hours. And the price of these is £15, which is very cheap. And overall, from my experience, I think these are pretty good headphones. Don't expect amazing performance out of these, but for the features and everything, these are actually really nice. Now I did a connection distance test. Now these do have 10 meters of connection in a direct line of sight, but it drops to 5 meters if you go behind walls, if you go in different rooms or everything like that. So it goes to 5 meters. Now in my opinion, the design of these are actually very nice. They're very simple. I do like the design of these. Let's go ahead and take a look around them. You have these pads, decent pads, they're cheap. You have the volume up and volume down button as well as the play pause button, and this is also the power button. You have an LED here that indicates the Bluetooth connectivity, and it goes off when it's connected. You have the USB Type-C charging cable. You have a microphone and the headphone cable. Now if you do plug headphones into it, they turn off, so they go into wired mode. And then you can use them with a wired connection device. Also you have this padding over here, which is pretty decent for the price, and you can also you can obviously adjust them as well, and over here as well. So they're adjustable and they are also foldable as well, so that's pretty cool. So let's talk about the build quality. These are made completely out of plastic, and they are very light because they are made of plastic, and they are comfortable to wear as well because they are very lightweight. But they are not comfortable for extremely long sessions because these pads and they have a decent grip, you know, so because they don't swivel, it can get just a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, now let's talk about the sound quality from these. Now it sounds very different depending on which way you've connected it. So if you're going to connect it wired, it sounds different than when you connect it to Bluetooth. If you're going to use a Bluetooth connection, it's pretty nice. The only thing is within the limitations. Now it is a warm sounding headphone. It does have really good bass, and the mids are a little muddy. The bass does actually bleed into the mids, and the highs sound a bit smooth as well. Overall, it's a warm sound signature. The sound stage, in my opinion, is where it falls apart because this has fatiguing sound, because think of it as like a bubble. When it comes to the sound stage, everything is on the edge or on the surface of the bubble, not inside the bubble. And when you're listening to voiceovers or podcasts, you want it to be in the middle because this is a mono source, and this doesn't do a good job of that. It just sort of distorts and stretches the whole audio out from the center to being around you, and it becomes a bit fatiguing. So unfortunately the sound stage isn't, in my opinion, is not good. But these are stereo headphones, and if you get the P9s or something, which are really cheap headphones as well, you do get mono headphones. They, in my opinion, do have a mono. Well, they are, because they're mono, they do have a different sound stage. They don't have a sound stage, they just have sound. But they're not fatiguing to listen to. These are, on the other hand, are stereo. Now if you listen to music, that won't really be much of an issue because it's going to be around you and it's, you know, all over the place, so that's fine. But if you're going to listen to podcasts or something like that, then these do stretch out the sound and it can get a little bit fatiguing. The rest is pretty much what you expect. Now they sound sort of like standard definition. I will say one thing, they are optimized for listening to voiceovers and podcasts and stuff like that, because if you do listen to music, then they do have very warm sound. Bass is right up in your face. I mean, it has pretty good extension, but only if you're listening to music and certain sounds, and that really you know, get an emphasis on that. Now also these do have the AAC codec, and from my experience I've connected it with the SBC-XQ codec, which the laptop goes to automatically, and it runs at 512 kilobits a second, which is very nice, but it seems to have some sort of cuts and some hiccups, And when you go to a lower quality codec, which is just AAC or just standard SPC, and then all of that goes away, and it's a very nice experience. So that's one thing I do want to mention. When you connect it through the wired connection, the sound changes quite a lot, because it goes to, I think the post processing or something goes off. It sounds more muddy, and it sounds, well, it sounds, because it's analog, it sounds more nicer. But as you can tell that there's a lot of processing going on to make it sound better through the Bluetooth connection. So when you go through to the wired connection, it sounds even more boomy and just bloated. And after using both of them, I do like using Bluetooth, because I actually got these to use wireless, but using wired is actually pretty nice as well, and at least it has that option. Now in some recordings, when there is background noise and speech as well, it can get a bit muddy, because it stretches everything out from the middle, so it can sound a little bit muffled. And I want to talk about the microphone built into these headphones, because somebody might want these for calls and meetings. Unfortunately, I can't recommend them for that, because it sounds horrible. This headphone has a very high noise gate, and so it just cuts out a lot of time, and it picks back up when you're in the middle of talking. And the other thing is, because of the positioning of the microphone, and it's a really small microphone, it sounds very distant, and it's going to pick up more of the echo rather than your voice, so it doesn't sound good in my opinion. Okay, let's talk about what I like about these and what I don't like about these. I like the price. These are like under £15, which is very, very cheap, so that's very nice. I do like the comfort, because these are very lightweight. They are very comfortable to wear for the most time. And I also think that the sound is pretty good for podcast and voice, speech and everything, and that's nice. And if you listen to music, as long as you don't mind the warm sound signature, you're actually going to like these. These are pretty nice. Now, of course, the soundstage isn't good, but well, they're £15, so you shouldn't really expect anything above this price range as of now. And the only thing I don't like about these is the microphone quality. I think that could be better. So to conclude, these are pretty nice headphones for the price, but you will have to stay within expectations. If you guys have any questions, ask me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video.